everyone, it's Emma, and today I'm doing a currently reading video. First of all, if I sound a little sick, I just have this cold that for some reason my body wants to be friends with and it's just hanging on to. I'm not really that sick, but if I sound a little funny, that's why. I'm currently reading a lot of books. Like, I'm in the middle of 4 different books, not to mention some manga that I just finished up. So I wanted to do an update, tell you guys my thoughts on what I'm reading. I'm having a good reading spell. I've just been reading a lot. I've been interested in a lot of books. I'm excited. I'm ready to talk about it. And let's go. First of all, I'm not in the middle of any manga, but that's because I just finished up volume 4 of Horimiya. I literally finished this last night, and the only reason I haven't picked up another volume of this is because I don't currently own any, and I'm on a little bit of a book buying ban at the moment. I am loving this series. A girl and a guy. The guy is kind of quiet and moody, and the girl is real popular, is like involved in a lot of student body type stuff. But they go to the same school, they're in the same class, and then they meet outside of school by happenstance. Outside of school, they're both totally different. The girl is always like slumming it in her comfies. She's always taking care of her little brother. She doesn't go out and have fun with her friends. And the guy has like all these piercings. He's got tattoos. His hair's real long. He wears it in a man bun. But only each other knows like this other side of them that they have. By volume 4, a lot has already changed, and this may have been my favorite volume. If I had the next volume, I would be currently reading that, but I don't, so I'm not. The next book is the one that I was reading in most of my reading vlog that went up the other day. It is I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. I am 186 pages in, and it's like 300-ish pages long, so I'm over halfway through and I'm loving it. The only reason I didn't finish it in like 2 days is because I started another book, which I'll tell you about in a minute. This one is about this girl who has all of these awkward encounters with her crushes, calls them flailures because she has all these flirting failures. She's super successful in all areas of her life except with guys. She's never had a boyfriend because she can't get over like this awkward side of herself that just feels uncomfortable with guys. But then this guy shows up at her school and she feels like a real connection to him. He's real attractive. He is a very talented artist and she just feels drawn to him in a way that she never has before with a guy. And so she decides to apply the rules of love from K-drama to her love life to try and get over her awkward encounters with her crushes. I picked this up for like the K-drama aspect of it, and that has been my favorite part of the book. She references a lot of K-dramas and even has this guide in the back of the book called The Ultimate K-Drama Starter Guide, brought to you by Desi and Drama Beans. Different K-dramas that I think are mentioned and that the author loves. I will definitely be checking out those K-drama. This book has just had me laughing the whole way through. I will say that it's not my favorite as far as writing style and character development, and I'm already over halfway through. I'm almost to 100 pages left in the book, and I still don't really like the love interest. I just don't feel much for him at all, but I do really like the main character. She kind of reminds me of one of my friends. The next book that I'm in the middle of is a reread, and it is Shatter Me by Taher Mafi. Can you guess why I'm rereading this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because Restore Me comes out in like 2 weeks. I have not mentioned this series much on my channel because I read it way before I started a booktube channel. But this series was what made me find booktube, because I read this series and then I started YouTubing it or something and I found people's book talks. This series holds a very dear place in my heart. I have reread it a couple times, but it's been a while, so I decided on a whim yesterday to pick it up and start rereading it so that when Restore Me came out, the whole story was fresh in my mind. If you didn't know, Taher Mafi is releasing a new book in the Shatter Me world, and yeah, I'm super excited for it. Right now, I think I'm like almost 100 pages into this one. Every time I've read this book, it's not taken long at all, so I'm sure I'll finish it up pretty quickly. It's giving me so much nostalgia. The only thing is that this first book is definitely my least favorite of the series. It's just very frustrating. I have a lot of feelings about the main character in this first book. And when you know everything that happens in the series, it's even harder to read the first book. I'm liking it, but the whole time I'm reading, I'm also thinking, I can't wait to get to the second book. I can't wait to get to the third book. One of the main reasons that I love this series is for the writing style. It's very unique. It's very lyrical and not literal at all. It's from Juliet's point of view, so it's the way that she sees the world, and that's kind of why I love this series, because it's really interesting to watch the writing style change over the course of the trilogy as Juliet changes herself. Rereading that one, all the memories, so many memories. The third book that I'm in the middle of is The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. To be honest, I have not made my way very far into this one, as you can tell because it's a pretty short book. This was one of the books that I did in my try a chapter tag where I was trying to pick what I wanted to read next, and this was one of the ones that I really enjoyed the first chapter. And since then I have not read a lot because I read Emily of New Moon first and then I picked up a bunch of other books, but I'm still really enjoying this one. I know that I'm going to enjoy it the further I get into it. This one is a fantasy and it's about the last unicorn, if you couldn't tell, who exists in the world, or so she thinks. She hasn't seen another unicorn for a long time. She's just lived in her woods and not venturing outside anywhere for a long time. And then one day some hunters make their way into the woods and they're talking about unicorns, and the unicorn gets curious and she decides to go to try and find out if there are any other unicorns left in the world, but also to find out if people have forgotten about her, because it's been so long since unicorns were common that people kind of think of them as a myth. It's very interesting, it's very creative, it's one of those books that captures the imagination, and the writing style is absolutely beautiful, so I'm enjoying that one a lot. I'm looking forward to reading more of it. And the last book that I'm currently reading is Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. I've only read the first couple little stories, poems in this. I just picked it up because I wanted more of a lovely classic kind of style, even though I guess that's what The Last Unicorn is too. I don't know, something in me has been wanting to reread this book because I'm sure I haven't read Winnie the Pooh stories since I was a little kid. I recently watched that movie, something about Christopher Robin, and it just made me more curious about like the original content of Winnie the Pooh, so I decided to pick this up. I have this lovely edition that I got at Rand McNally bookstore in New York City. It's oh so lovely. There's something about Winnie the Pooh that is just so calming. I don't know, it's just one of those children's stories that never really gets old. Sometimes you just gotta reread a kid's story. So those are all of the books that I'm currently in the middle of. I just kept picking up new books until before I knew it I was in the middle of all these books because I've just been reading a lot, and when I read a lot I often have to read many books at one time. I read faster that way and then I don't get tired of the one book that I'm reading. It's been a good time, it's been a good mood. I'm pretty sure it's because the spring weather is starting to come, or we got some early spring weather, and it just like boosted my desire to be outside in the sun reading books. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what you're reading at the moment. Also let me know down in the comments if you're excited for Restore Me, because I'm super excited. I'm also excited because I'm going to be in New York City for the Books of Wonder release with Tahira Mafi and Ransom Riggs, and I'm so excited. So anyways, let me know if you're as excited as I am. I hope you have a lovely day or night or afternoon wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video.